Hello! Welcome to the Fruit-foot Fanny Story Hour. At my right, we have Goldie, the golden retriever, who's hanging out with us for a couple of days. And I am Dawn, the Fruit-foot Fanny storyteller. And this episode of Fruit-foot Fanny was brought to you by Renegade Rescue, the doggy rescue from Merced. So today, Fruit-foot Fanny is inventing the most important, the bestest, the most extremely awesome invention in the world. It is an invention that will grow tomatoes that have none of those slimy, gooey seeds in the middle. But the problem is, how do you grow more tomatoes if they don't have seeds in them? So Fruit-foot Fanny's brain was getting scrambled with this difficult question. So she decided to take a break and have a snack in the kitchen. When she got to the kitchen, she talked to her mom. Her brow was furrowed like this. "Mom, why is your brow so furrowed?" And her mom said, "I don't know what to do. I want to make a salad, but I only have lettuce and cucumbers, and that is too much green in a bowl with nothing else." So Fruit-foot Fanny said, "It's too bad that my feet are not growing anything right now, because if they were growing apples, we could have an apple salad. If they were growing strawberries, we could put strawberries and goat cheese in the salad. Doesn't that sound delicious?" So Fruit-foot Fanny was looking at her bare feet and being really sad that nobody was loving her the most right now. But then, all of a sudden, out popped a tiny piece of fruit, a tiny red piece of fruit, a tiny round red piece of fruit. And it was not red like a cherry. No, it was red like a tomato. And she looked at it and she's like, "This doesn't look like any tomato I've ever seen." It was perfectly round with a little stem on it. She tasted it to make sure it was a tomato. But guess what? The tomato didn't have any seeds in it. And Fruit-foot Fanny didn't know anybody who even thought that a tomato was a fruit, let alone their favorite fruit. So she just kept growing more of these tomatoes. And her whole kitchen floor were practically in tomatoes. And her mom and her were scooping them up off the floor with a bowl and washing them off and laughing because now they could have tomato salad for dinner. And this was the best summer ever. While they were eating, they were very confused because is a tomato a fruit or is it a vegetable? And if a tomato doesn't have seeds, is it still a fruit? We need to study this and find out, thought Fruit-foot Fanny. But more importantly, we need to find which of the people in my life love tomatoes the most. And the dogs just got done fighting, so we had to take a little break. Okay, so Fruit-foot Fanny's back. And guess what? They remembered that her great-great-aunt Patty, who still lived in Ireland, was a big fan of tomatoes. The hugest fan of tomatoes, and she could hardly ever get them in Ireland because it was too foggy where she lived to grow them. So it just so happened that that day, her Aunt Patty was dreaming of tomatoes while she was eating, you guessed it, potatoes. And since she was thinking of Fruit-foot Fanny while she was eating potatoes and dreaming of tomatoes, Fruit-foot Fanny grew all these tomatoes from her feet. But the thing that we didn't know is that Fruit-foot Fanny, instead of inventing something, could just have it come out of her feet. She invented seedless tomatoes just by thinking of them. And they had seedless tomatoes forever. The end.